This is nice stuff. Welcome to Once Upon a Pipe. Out early this morning because of that guy right there. That is long time good friend, Brother Andrew Safey. Andrew, he can't sleep at night, so he calls me at 2 a.m. tells me that he's gonna pick me up at 6. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration. He did call me last night and asked me if I wanted to meet him and come to this park at 6:30. Really nice place to catch the sunrise. Said there's a nice trail. And the thing is, this is one of those right in your backyard type of places. And I've been by here a million times, like drove past here, and I've never yet in my near 30 years of being in Kentucky. I don't know if this park has been here 30 years, but I mean, I haven't been here. So my son Wyndham joining me. He doesn't say much, so that's all right. But Andrew and I'll make up for it. Well, Peter Stokkebye Peaches and Cream in a just an old clay pipe. So we're gonna enjoy a little bit of nature here. Can you hear that?
Yeah, real good birds on it.
Yeah, if it weren't for those cars, I mean, this would be fantastic. You know what it reminds me of is Waveland. Have you been on the trails at Waveland?
Actually, I didn't know there were trails back there either. So there.
Oh, it's yeah.
Over by you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Middle of town. There you go. So come out here in the early morning and sit out here for a while.
I just said the slider never fails. I even did a test run. The only time it fails is when it's out of fluid. Now, how could I do a test run and that fail? But I always have a backup.
Oh, backup. You ever seen an electronic later before? Is there one of those where it does, like those, yes, whatever you call those.
Since we're out here in nature in this good spot, and I'm getting caught up with my good friend Andrew. So here's what the past 2 weeks have been like. In our family, cousins, aunts, uncles, we've had 3 deaths in the past 2.5 weeks. My Aunt Julia, she is the last of the Johnsons left. That was my mom's sister. She's the only one of my mom's siblings that is still alive. She lost her husband, Uncle Percy, and Uncle Clay, which is my mom's brother-in-law. He lost his sister just a couple weeks ago. And then my cousin Betty, which would have been like a sister to my mom, because she's quite a bit older, she passed away in Lexington. And on top of all of that, my dad went into the hospital a couple Mondays ago. So it's been crazy. But here's the thing that really is more of the stressful thing than anything else with all of this craziness is My dad being in the hospital and not being able to visit him. My cousin Betty, who went in for surgery and ended up catching pneumonia while she was in the hospital. She couldn't have any visitors. So she spent the last weeks of her life alone, separate from family, which I think is horrible. And of course, this is all amidst the COVID-19 lockdown and stuff, which is not just in Kentucky, but in most other states. My heart really goes out to those who have loved ones or family members in the hospital that you cannot visit or see. I know when my dad was in there, horrible thing. He went in February for a heart stent, and we were able to be with him, you know, and I think he was there maybe 2 days. They had to do the procedure, and then they kept him overnight and watched him and all that stuff. And what a world of difference it makes to have family, to be right there, to be able to see the doctors and the medical staff face to face, to bring encouragement to them. This time when my dad went in, he was in for a lot longer. For one, he was in for almost a week. We could not visit at all. The best we could do would be to phone him. We would call him and kind of get a conference call going with my siblings and Miss Pat, my dad's wife, but that is not the same. So not only that, but Daddy was basically locked inside of his room. He's a mover. He's got to be out, making things happen. And if he is not able to do that, then that is very taxing on not just him physically, but emotionally as well, mentally. So that time in the hospital, I think, was a very difficult time. He's out of the hospital. He came home Sunday. But he hasn't been able to do much, and he has spent a day or two kind of cooped up in the condo. Very, very emotionally draining and very difficult. So it's been a crazy time, but I just want to let you know my heart really goes out to all those who, if you're in that situation, I truly feel for you. I'm hoping and desiring that things will get back to a place where we can visit people in the hospital and do the things that we need to do. I don't think it will ever be back to, quote, normal. But for sure, I think keeping people in a hospital, not allowing them to have visitors, I think that will kill them. It will hurt their health. And going back to my cousin Betty, who passed away in the hospital, she was moved to the hospice wing of a local hospital. And at that point, they could allow one family member at a time to come in and see her. Just one. And that was only about the last day and a half or so of her life. So that's just no way for a person to leave this world. Yeah, very, very sobering time. But, you know, we do have a lot to be thankful for. And I think, if anything, these past experiences over the last several weeks certainly have made us, or at least I hope so, appreciate life a lot more, and appreciate those that help sustain life, people who serve our country. I think about my friend Andrew over here who's serving. I think about my wife, who is a nurse and working in a hospital, and the medical staff. Greatly appreciative for them, but also just appreciative for life in general. I'm excited to get back to church. We're doing Sunday school by Zoom. Our messages are coming either on Facebook or YouTube channels, stuff like that. but that is no substitute for being together. So let's hope that as we go through the next few weeks and the country begins to, quote, open up a little bit more, that we can all get together. And I appreciate you getting together with me via this channel, Once Upon a Pipe. And as always, it's always good to have you join me. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.